Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Um, I hope everyone is having a good day so far. I hope everyone is staying in prayer. I hope everyone is staying in the spirit. Excuse me, I'm a little congested because of the mix in the weather temperatures here. And the pollen is up. Yeah, my allergies are messing with me a little bit. But I watched Tron, right? Tron, the 1982 movie. The very first Tron, right? And you can clearly see that that movie was way ahead of its time. A year after I was born, 1982, right? And I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, man, this movie is really dope, right? Visually, just the whole concept, and what I began to understand about the movie was how it parallels or correlates with The Matrix, right? Starring Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne. Um, I started to line it up with that movie. Programs, right? Programs and an MCP, a main control program, right? That evolved and began making decisions and using humans, right? And even took a human, Jeff Bridges' character, Flynn, from the real world into the computer world, right? And then I thought about, and then you could tell which programs were which, right? The distinction was the colors, the blue programs and the red programs. And we know which ones represent good and which ones represent bad, right? And then in the Matrix, you had the red pill and the blue pill, right? Which was presented to Keanu Reeves by Lawrence Fishburne's character. Presented to Neo, Keanu Reeves' character, by Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne's character. Excuse me. And I might put it a little bit all over the place because I didn't write it down. I'm just going off of sheer memory and what came to me as I was watching that movie. So I'm like, man, it's the same storyline, right? It's the same storyline. And I even thought about the Terminator, but I'm not going to throw that in there. The better comparison is The Matrix and Tron, right? Now, Tron was sent to stop the MCP, the main control program, right? Which was overseeing all the other programs or breaking into all the other programs, right? It began doing what it wanted to do, and then it began using humans to do its work on the outside. So I said, man, it's just like The Matrix. It's just like The Matrix, man. Neo, right, sent to stop Agent Smith, which was the main program, right, the evil program, who didn't want things to change. He wanted things to evolve in the Matrix, right, in the artificial world, in the computer world, and then try to implement those things into the real world, right? So I said, man, so basically Tron and The Matrix is the same story, just told in different ways. The core of both movies is computer programs and one computer running everything, or one computer evolving into enslaving humans or or making the main decisions over humanity. So I thought, I'm like, man, it's the same thing. If you think about it, it's the same thing. Hmm. And Flynn, Jeff Bridges' character's Flynn, uh, he even mentions the Matrix, not the Matrix itself, but he mentions like a depiction, like he says like the Matrix program or something like that. I remember him mentioning that in the movie when they went to see him and figure out a way to how to get in and stop it and get in and change it. You know, they went to his arcade and he slept upstairs, so they went to his room and they're having a conversation with him and they're figuring this out. And he said something about the Matrix, but not the Matrix itself. The Matrix, like a Matrix program, something. So I says, "Oh man, like this is it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing." So now the new trailer for Tron, Ares, something like that. I think Jared Leto's playing Tron. Um, in the new one, Tron Legacy was really good. I liked it, visually dope. Um, I didn't fully understand the movie because I never saw uh, the first movie, which was the 1982 one. I never saw that one until last night when I watched it for the first time. I remember it used to come on all the time when I was a kid, and it was just too much for me. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, what is going on with this? All I know is it's red people and blue people, and it looks crazy. As a kid, I just knew that it was heavy, something heavy, and I just didn't even want to try to watch it. I tried to watch it, but I just couldn't get into it. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about what was going on. All I knew is it looked like Star Fox. If anyone's ever played the SNES, a video game called Star Fox, it looks like Star Fox. A lot of the same sounds, a lot of the same block-like animation. It reminded me of playing Star Fox when I was younger, which was a dope game, by the way. Star Fox was fire for Super Nintendo. But I just thought all of this stuff just started coming to me, and I just started lining all of this stuff up with things that I already knew about, you know? So, yeah. I'm definitely going to go see the new Tron movie. Tron Legacy was fire. Now that I've seen the original version, the 1982 version with Jeff Bridges, who plays the user over the programs that he is now working with or that he's now been thrown into, it makes more sense. Everything makes more sense. So, yeah, Tron and The Matrix is basically one and the same, just told two different ways. But it's basically one and the same. So, yeah, I'm going to go check it out. You guys should too, and you guys should understand what you're actually watching and what you're actually, what the message actually is in these franchises, in these movies. You know, there's a very heavy message in these movies. You know, they're hit movies, but there's a very deep message in these movies. You know, The Matrix is saying something, Tron is saying something, they're all saying something. It all ties into something that I heard Elon Musk say, you know, about having one computer run everything. And from the looks of it and from basically what, you know, artistically is being put out there about something like that is that if you build something like that that can grow and evolve, eventually it will start making decisions and start deciding who lives and who dies, and, you know, basically come to the conclusion that, you know, we should be working for them, you know. And then now we can go into the Terminator, right? Because in the beginning of the Terminator, there's the war between machines and humans. So, you know, this and, you know, the Matrix, machines and humans, and, you know, Tron, not more so machines and humans, just more programs and humans, you know. But still, man versus machine, you know, in the mind, right? God's creation versus man's creation, you know? And I'm starting to line all of this up pretty good, pretty heavily. So um, I'm gonna go check it out. You guys should too. You guys should really go back and watch the stuff from the beginning and watch it over and really understand what you're looking at and really understand the message that's being sent out to you, not only visually but creatively in movies and in music and things like that. The messages are all there. It's just that we have to pick it up. We have to know what we're looking at. We have to know what we're listening to. We have to understand, you know, what's being put out there, what the frequency is when it's being put out there. So, um, yeah, yeah. Stay in prayer. Stay moving forward. Um, Stay in the spirit. You know, keep an open mind. Keep a loving heart, a loving spirit. Stay in your book. Stay in your word. Most important. You know, read, understand what you're reading, process what you're reading, even if you have to go back 5 or 6 times, process what you're reading, you know. Always keep God in the front of your mind and think about how he would handle situations when anxiety comes up and when stress comes up. Always think about how God would handle that situation. Stay in the present, stay in the now. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about next year. Just worry about today. Worry about getting through your day today. And I'm out.